We are going to be talking about a very interesting topic, which I am sharing with you the three elements of an email that people cannot stop from reading. Hey everyone, welcome to day 30. Day 30. I can't believe I am saying that. But guess what? We are on day 30 of the 30 days of persuasion. I have never done anything in my life that has lasted 30 days. So honestly, if I sound a little bit lunatic, it's understandable. Dude, I've never done anything that's lasted 30 days. If you see me and you hear me, please let me know because I'm a bit too excited to kind of focus right now. We are going to be talking about a very interesting topic, which I'm sharing with you the three elements of an email that people cannot stop from reading. Now, if you're here, you see me, you hear me, all you gotta do is let me know, because if I don't know, then I cannot respond. And that's never a good idea. So if you see me and hear me, please let me know. I'm also gonna take a look at my phone. I have a new phone cover to make sure everything is on spot. Yes, excellent. Thank you, all of you guys, for being here, for being with me, for joining me, and just thank you for everything. What's going on? Why am I talking twice? Okay, yeah. So thank you guys for being here. I am going to shortly dive into the three elements of an email that people cannot stop reading. It's the Breaking Bad email structure. And if you have watched the series Breaking Bad, you know how addicting it is. And you also want to have the same level of addiction for your own emails, because why not, right? Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you so much. Cool. I am so grateful. I also want to do a very quick thank you for all the support that you guys, including Gul and her daughter, have shown my book. It is unbelievable to me that in the last 30 days, without any affiliate promotions, without anyone promoting my book, and without a single email to my list saying, my book is out, you should buy, I have sold almost 500 copies of the paperback. So far, we've sold about, I think, 17,000 Kindle versions and 500 paperback copies. And I'm just blown away by the support and the love that you guys have shown the book. If you're not sure, if you don't know about the book, it is called Mass Persuasion Method. It's an international bestseller and it is now available in paperback. So if you want to go check it out, you can do that at bit.ly/mpmbook. I am eternally grateful to everyone who has shown so much support for the book and for my work. Guys, you guys blow me away with your love. Thank you. Hi, Denora. Hi, everyone. Okay, so today's focus is all about the unignorable email, and I am going to be sharing with you my three-step formula to structure an email, because the idea of an unignorable email or an addicting email is that not only do people read it once, take action that you want them to take, but also mark it as a favorite and come back to it and read it again. And that can happen. Even though our email inboxes are full of crap, there are still certain emails, and I'm pretty sure you have seen those emails, that once you read those emails, you're like, oh my God, I need to come back to this email and read it again, because it's just so, it's such an interesting email that I would like to reread it. Either they would reread it then, or they would bookmark it or favorite it and come back to it and read it later. That is honestly so awesome. So thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Zuzana. Thank you, Rivka. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about that structure. What structure do you need? So like I said, there are three elements to that email. The first structure is, the first element that you need to decide is the emotion. The second is the story. And the third one is the tie-in. And I'm going to be talking about each one of these step by step. But first of all, I want to share this broadcast, and I'd love for you guys to also share this broadcast with someone who you think can benefit from this. So please, I would really, really, really appreciate if you could share it with someone who can benefit from this. This is the last session of 30 Days of Persuasion. I will not be showing up every day in your newsfeed asking you to share. I will not be showing up in your newsfeed every day asking you whether you can hear me or whether the sound is okay. I feel like I've been saying this ever since I was born. Like, I literally came out of the birth canal. I was like, can you hear me? Can you see me? Please leave a comment to let me know that you can see me and hear me, because dude, 30 days straight, I've never done anything for 30 days straight. Thank you so much, Gul. Thank you, darling, for all the love that you've shown me. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I am, my son just walked in and he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I have my last session. And he's like, you must be really excited, because I have been honestly bitching and moaning and complaining because routines are not my thing. So for me, that was, the routine part was hard. I did not do all sessions live, but I did most of them live. And I'm just excited to be wrapping this up with a bang. I am so, so, so grateful for your attention all these past 30 days. Okay, so let's talk about the very first thing. So what is the thing number one that you need to decide? If you are writing an email that is unignorable, that is an addicting email that you want people to come back to over and over again, but also where you want people to take an action, the very first element that you need to decide is to the emotion that you want that email to evoke. What is the brand of your email? What is the emotion that you want your email to evoke? Once you have figured that out, everything else becomes easy. But if you don't have the emotion figured out, you honestly, why are you even sending the email, right? So that is really my biggest objection with the most weekly emails or the most newsletter type emails, is because they don't do that action first. They don't sit back and they don't think about, okay, what do I want people to feel when I send this email? So you need to decide right now, what emotion do you want people to feel? Do you want them to feel relieved? Do you want them to feel happy or angry or curious or motivated? Do you want them to feel like they're really special? Especially if you're sending out, let's just say, a subscriber appreciation offer, right? Or you're sending out an email where you're only sending it out to a select few people on your email list. You want that person to read the email and feel special, right? You want them to feel other emotions, but the predominant emotion that you want them to feel is the feeling of being special. Whether you want them to have an eager anticipation, or you want them to feel like they're the most intelligent people that you've ever come across, or do you want them to feel hopeful for a better future? Whatever that is, whatever that emotion is, and obviously, needless to say, the emotion that you want them to feel is inherently tied with the action that you want them to take, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? That the emotion that you want them to feel is inherently tied into the action that you want them to take. Because our actions are driven by emotions. We are emotional beings. We take actions based on the way we feel, right? It is not the other way around, unlike what most people think. So most people would say, oh, people are, they act in a certain way and that's why they feel in a certain way. When it comes to taking actions, we need to feel a certain way to take an action. So if you want them to take an action, if you want them to reply back to your email, you send them sending them an email, and you want them to reply back to your email, what do you want them to feel? You don't want them to feel angry. You want them to feel connected to you, right? This is what you want them to feel. Therefore, your emotion will always be tied to the action that you want them to take. This is the core of everything. Does that make sense? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you like, what do you even mean? Or it's very difficult for me to concentrate on what you... Shireen, I'm so grateful. Thank you. Yeah, my son just walked in and he was like, that's a lot of makeup. And I was like, yeah, I know that. Do not go any further than that. I know that's a lot of makeup, but I'm so great. And incidentally, this is the same sun that I threw in the ocean yesterday. True story. I'm just going to take a pause and tell you that story. So yesterday, we were out on a mini vacation. No, not yesterday. Yesterday morning. Yeah, yesterday morning. I came back yesterday evening. So yesterday morning, we were out and I was jet ski racing. And he was sitting on at the back and I was driving the jet ski and I was trying to drift. and I was trying to demolish my husband in the jet ski race, and the jet ski toppled over, and both me and my son went in the water. It was very embarrassing because the guy, the one who was the jet ski in charge, he had to come and rescue us, and getting my fat ass from the water onto the jet ski while it was still in the water wasn't one of my proudest moments. Luckily, he did not freak out, and I did not freak out. My only embarrassment was, I hope he doesn't have to, the guy in charge of the jet ski. I was just thinking to myself, I hope he doesn't have to put his hands under my ass and push me over, because that would be horrid. That did not happen. I managed to pull my ass myself onto the jet ski, but still, it was a very interesting moment. So the same son, he is okay. He's doing really well. Actually, he thinks of it as an adventure. But major parenting fail, major mothering fail, just so you know. Yeah, husband wasn't really happy. But come on, he drives like a 60-year-old. I drive like I'm 22. So that's the difference. But yeah, he and the daughter were on the other jet ski, and me and my son were on the one. So it was not the best moment. Now every time I pass by my son, all he does is he looks at me and he goes, because that's exactly what I did to him. I tried to control it, but it just toppled over. I don't know what happened. Okay, let's get back to the story. Okay, let's get back to the lesson. How does the emotion tie to the value? How does the emotion tie to the value? I'm coming to that. I'm coming to the middle part. I was just trying to focus on, I was trying to get the point across that you need to get the emotion, and you need to make sure that the action that you want them to take is aligned. I agree, emotion you want them to feel. Okay, Rivka agrees with me. That's excellent. That people agree with me. I love that. I wish I had more people in my house who agreed with me. Okay. So the very first thing you need to do is to decide what emotion you want people to feel. We've established that, yes? And you also want to make sure that the call to action, or whatever action you want them to take after they've read your email, it is aligned with the emotion. Now comes the middle part. Now comes the part where you're going to write something in the email that evokes that emotion, right? We've established we want them to feel a certain emotion. We have established that they need to feel that emotion to take the action. Now, the next logical question is, how do I make them feel that emotion? How do I make them feel that emotion? And the answer to that question is a story. A story. So choose a story that matches the emotion you want to elicit. Now, where can you find that story? You can find that story from books, movies, articles, blogs, your own life experiences, or something you saw someone else do, or something that you saw on social media. Now, I'm going to give you a few examples of emotions and stories from movies, because that's like my favorite place to pull the stories from. But as an example, if you want people to feel heroic, right? So you want them to read the email and feel heroic, feel like they can do anything, feel like they are on charge of their destiny. Then you can quote the story from the movie Wonder Woman, where she chooses to take on the entire world single-handedly, even when no one stood with her, none of her family, none of her sisters stood with her, even then she decided to take on the world, right? So you use that story, people who read that email, women especially, when they read that email, they feel heroic. They feel like they can actually do that. They can actually feel like they can take on the world the same way. Another example, if you want people to feel excited about a certain thing, excited about anything that excites them, excited about any of their passions, then my favorite movie, honestly, one of my favorite movies is The Scent of a Woman. And there is the part in where Frank talks about a woman. He describes why women are his most favorite thing in the world, next to Ferraris. He says a distant second is a Ferrari. And the way he describes it, and the way and the facial expressions, and the way he talks about it, and the longing that you can hear in his voice. And you can look at that clip if you're not familiar with the movie Scent of a Woman, which honestly you should watch the movie because it is awesome. So if you want people to feel that sense of excitement and longing for something that they find really valuable or really exciting, you can link back to that story. You can talk about how Frank talks about women in the movie Scent of a Woman. Another example is, oh my God, yes, the tango. Catherine, let's not get started. Let's just keep it as PG as possible, because the movie in itself is like It's a favorite of me and my husband, but I prefer watching it alone because for obvious reasons. Another way, motivated. So we all want our emails to motivate people to take action, right? My favorite story, my favorite dialogue, and my favorite scene is from the movie Pursuit of Happiness, where Will Smith is talking to his son and he says, don't let anyone ever tell you can't do anything, not even me. Right? This is such a great line, You gotta dream and you gotta protect it. People can't do something themselves. They will tell you that you can't do it. You want something, you go do it. Period. It's such a beautiful, it works in every industry. It works in every single type of email. If you want your people to feel motivated, just take that scene, just break down that scene, write it in a story format, and you are good to go because it is a beautifully crafted scene. It's a beautifully delivered scene. It is awesome. Another example is from the movie John Q. Again, when it comes to motivation, especially when it comes to motivation about something that affects their family, right? This is a great scene where where this kind of it's a standoff, and Denzel Washington, he says, I am not going to bury my son is going to bury me. Great movie line and a great scene. And if you want to motivate people about doing something that kind of ties back to their family or the betterment of their family or whatever, you can talk about the emotions that John Q exhibited when he has the standoff in the story. So use any story. You can use, by the way, honestly, if you don't want to use movie stories, then you can use stories from your own business, your own life. So for example, an example of a customer story, right? If someone wrote to you with a specific question or someone wrote to you with a specific problem that they're facing and they shared a bit of their story, you can use that story in an email. You can also talk about your haters and why you think they hate you. That's a great story. If you want to create an us versus them kind of emotion in the email. You can also talk about a recent personal success that you've had. So you can tell the story of a recent personal success. You can also talk about a recent personal failure or something that you witnessed and you knew it was going to fail and it actually failed. So it doesn't have to be a story from emails or books. The idea is just pick a story that evokes the emotion that you want people to feel, because unless they hear the story and they live the story, they cannot feel an emotion. We don't feel emotions from narratives that are not story-based. The best way to evoke an emotion is to tell a story and tell it in a way that evokes the right emotion. And again, did I do a session on storytelling? I think I did. I will need to hunt it out, but I think I did. But really the idea is to tell the story in a way that they can actually live it in their mind's eye. So that's the second part of these three. So first thing is the emotion. The second thing is the story. And the third thing is the tie-in. Because what do we want the email to do? We want the email to get people to take the action, right? So the story makes them feel the emotion, but we also want them to take an action. We just don't want them to sit there and feel motivated and then don't do anything else, right? We want to make sure that they actually take the action that we want them to take, right? What's the point of feeling heroic if they're not going to click the link that you asked them to? What is the point of feeling motivated if they're not going to book a call with you? What's the point of feeling connected if they're not going to reply to your email and tell you about their deepest, darkest secrets, right? Right? Does anyone agree with me on this or not? Rivka does. I'm glad, Rivka, that you agree with you, and I'm really glad that you can actually use these principles in your business, because that is awesome. I promise it'll be super, super, super helpful. Okay, so I want some hands up. I want to know if someone is interested in finding out about the tie-in. I want to also know whether you are interested in whether you have any takeaways so far, whether you're looking at this and thinking, oh my God, I could totally implement this. And if you are, please let me know in the comments, because that would really help me go forward with this. Also, if you're enjoying this broadcast, please, please, please go ahead and share this on your timeline with someone who can benefit from this, or in a group that you belong and you hear people asking this question all the damn time. I would greatly appreciate if you share this broadcast. This is the last day of my 30 days of persuasion. I won't be asking you for shares too much, but the time that I have, I would love for you. And if after you have shared it, please also take a moment to let me know that you shared it, because that kind of makes me really happy, right? So if you've shared it, please let me know so I can personally thank you for sharing it, because that kind of makes my day. That is always awesome. Okay. Excellent. Excellent, everyone. I am so glad. Okay. Let's move on to the tie-in. The tie-in is the idea. The idea behind a tie-in is to make sure that whatever emotion they have felt through by listening to the story, they actually put it into action. And the best way to do that, thank you, Imad. I am so grateful. Thank you. I'm truly grateful for that you shared this. So the tie-in, how do you create the tie-in? You create the tie-in by taking the tail end of the story. Thank you, Catherine. I'm so grateful, darling. So grateful. Love you. Thank you. By taking the tail end of the story and linking it to the call to action that you want them to take. Now, typically what I like to do is I like to have my emotion and my call to action aligned beforehand. So as an example, if you want them to feel motivated and the call to action that you want them to have is, the call to action that you want them to take is book a clarity call with you, for example, or book a complimentary coaching call with you, right? So they are motivated. That's the emotion that you want them to feel. You tell them a story where they feel that kind of emotion. Now, how do you ask them to book a call? You take the tail end of the story, and the tail end of the story is always the outcome. So in the case of motivation, if you're going to tell a story that motivates them, you will end that story by at the high point of that story, right? So taking the example of Pursuit of Happiness, right? So you tell the story where Will Smith is telling his son that you should always go for your dreams. When people tell you that you can't do anything, it's because they themselves cannot do anything, etc., etc. Now you two just told that story. Now use one line, just one sentence, wrapping up that story. So say something like, and as you know, in the movie, Will Smith, I don't remember the name of his character, Will Smith actually did manage to go after his dreams despite everything that was up against him, right? So you kind of wrap up that story by giving a line that ties in to the action that you want them to take, right? So as an example, taking the same example, as you saw in the movie, Will Smith actually did go after his dreams despite everything that everyone told him he could not do. He managed to get this and this and this and became this and this and this. And this is your connecting line. This is all it takes. If you are ready to also follow your dream or take the action or get the result that you have been looking for, then I invite you to book a call with me. So you will always take the tail end of the story and tie it, make a connection with it to the action that you want them to take. Now, please make sure that the emotion that you want them to feel actually has a realistic call to action. You can't make them feel motivated, like slightly motivated, and then ask them to go check out the sales page. It doesn't make sense, right? Why are you sending them to a sales page? You just told them Will Smith managed to go after his, his dreams, and now you can too. If you want, go check out my sales page, right? Go check out my new product. That's a very big leap. You want to make sure that the leap is small. It's not too big of a leap that people will be like, okay, so the only way I can actually go after my dreams is buy your $2,000 program? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm not getting it. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, darling. I am so grateful for you for sharing this. So grateful, darling. So always make sure that when you transition from the story to the call to action, you have to make sure that you do it in a way that is not a huge giant leap, right? So in this case, you can always, so as an example, giving you another example, let's just say you're talking about overcoming obstacles, right? So if the story is about overcoming obstacles, you can actually tell them, you know what, this is how I overcame obstacles, and I've spent the last 3 years of my life overcoming these obstacles. What types of obstacles have you managed to overcome with? Reply to this email and let me know, right? So make sure that it's not just a matter of transitioning, it's also a matter of the ask. When you ask them to do something, make sure the ask is not a huge giant leap. It is something that is logical to the emotion that they are feeling. Okay, how are we doing so far? I'm wrapping this up, and I would love for you guys to give me a thumbs up if you want to go check out the full 30 days of persuasion. They are available on YouTube, so I would love for you guys to check out my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel, in case you were not aware. It doesn't have any views because I just started using it, but go check it out on YouTube, or you can also check it out on this very page on the Persuasion Revolution Facebook page. All 30 days are available, and I would love for you guys to check it out, give me some love, and share it. Go through it, and the episode that speaks most to you, that you found most valuable, please share it with someone. Also, and most importantly, this is the last time, hopefully, I'm asking you to go check out my book. It is available on bit.ly/mpmbook. It is called Mass Persuasion Method. It is an international best-selling book that I'm super proud of, and I would love for you guys to check it out. When you check out the book, you also earn $800 in bonuses. So I'm giving away $800 worth of book bonuses. If you decide to buy the book, you can also come back and claim all the bonuses, and they are pretty dang awesome. So please go check out the book, claim the bonuses, and today I'm not going to say I will see you tomorrow, because I will not see you tomorrow. I will be seeing you around on Facebook, but the 30 Days of Persuasion has come to an end. Yay! I hope you enjoyed these 30 days with me. I also thoroughly enjoyed having you guys with me, even though it was a pain putting on makeup and looking decent and preparing the content, and I didn't get jack shit done in October. The only thing I got done in October was have my birthday, have my kid's birthday. All three of us have the birthdays in October, and do these 30 days. I didn't do anything else in October, but that's fine. It's been fun, and I sold a shit ton of books. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I will see you really soon. I'm also doing... Is there anything new in the email bonus that isn't in the Mass Persuasion Method course? Email persuasion sequence is not in NPM. Actually, none of this is in NPM. Actually, yes. There is the bonuses are not in NPM. I don't think they are. So yeah, that's your incentive to go buy the book. I was just playing day 10. Yay! Mike is awesome, Catherine. I hope you enjoyed Mike's book as well. Okay. I'm going to go wrap this up. It was awesome. Thank you, darling. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Hello, YouTube. Yes, we have come to the end of 30 Days of Persuasion, but that does not mean that I'm done talking to you. I'm never done talking to you. I will be seeing you around on YouTube, but please, in the meantime, take a moment to subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and go check out my book, because that will make me really happy. And trust me, I'm a much nicer person when I'm happy. So please go do that, and I will see you really soon around on YouTube.